Good morning. Happy Thursday to everyone. Sorry about the delay a little bit. Y'all know how it goes sometimes with the drop off and pick up of kids and stuff. And so trying to formulate my thoughts to get everything ready. But I'm here. Got some things to discuss, some things for us to get into today on this Thursday. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Hit the like button, so hit subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. Looking forward to just hopefully having a good conversation, fun conversation on some things as well. So hold on to do a quick retweet and get into it. I know you guys. I know you guys. I know you guys well enough. Harish is in here. I know Money B is in here. I know you guys well enough to know there's a pettiness about you. And there's a pettiness about you that has a little bit too much glee this morning. What's up, Mark Anthony? It's a little too much glee for you guys this morning. And I know why. We're going to get into the subject at hand in a second. Give me a second. But this is for y'all. Because you're all petty. And I like it. So apparently the Aggies thought they were about to have a new basketball coach. And they thought they were about to pull off a power move that was going to shake the universe, didn't they? And so apparently, as the reports go, Chris Beard and Texas A&M were in some negotiations. They were negotiating, trying to talk back and forth. And Chris Beard seemed to be really interested in the Aggies. Or so they thought. And so as the conversations are going back and forth, people from Texas A&M are starting to think this thing. Good morning, Darian. Good morning, Benji. They're starting to think to themselves, oh, we about to get that dude. We are about to turn around our basketball program. All things are going to be good in Aggie land. And then it happened. And I know you guys well enough. I'm gonna use this graphic. I'm gonna use their graphic. I don't care that they work for another company because the graphic's kind of awesome. I gotta admit. And they do. Often even doing some graphics though, don't they? I gotta admit, my man Tyler does some graphics, but they do some graphics. And they did this one graphic where it's just simply put staying. And apparently, at the end of the day, what had happened was Chris Beard pretty much just used, I say used, but kind of used them a little bit, kind of sort of, to get a little bit more money, a little bit more NIL stuff. And the Aggies, who thought that not only, because, Texas A&M, always, still feel some type of way about losing, Sloss to Texas. And they thought to themselves, oh, man, this would be that ultimate get back, right? This would be that ultimate get back. Like, oh, man, if we can just get Chris Beard, we'll stick it to Texas. And Chris Beard's like, I ain't going there. He's like, I ain't going there. What the hell am I going to go there for? To do what? Look at a bunch of brown buildings all day long? It's, last time, I'll be honest with you. Last year was the first time I ever been to Texas A&M's campus. Like, why would I ever go, right? That was the one thing I look. The two things that stood out to me was one, it was just flat land, right? And then the second thing that stood out, I was like, are all the buildings just brown, like this light brownish color? Like they all look the same. Every building just looked the same. It was kind of some weird thing. But nonetheless, Ben G, by the way, just dropped a 20 spot. And I think Ben G just want to say hook him. I don't know if you just hook him because he likes it that the Aggies kind of fell on their face. Because the worst thing that happens, in a coaching search is when you're being told no. Like when the rejection becomes public, that's when it's bad. Most people don't. Like I remember years ago, like there was some potential interest with Texas and Art Briles back before the Baylor thing blew up, and we just thought Art Briles was a good coach, right? Just back in those days, right? And so absent of all the other crap. And there was this thing where it's like, all right, Texas was saying you need to come in and interview. And Art was saying, like, I'm not interviewing because what I can't do is interview for the job, get the spot blown up here at Baylor, and if I don't get it, it makes everything look worse. So most coaches don't want to quote unquote interview unless you're assistants, right? And what you don't want realistically is that you don't want your spot to get blown up and you get told no. And so that ends up being kind of the worst case scenario for them. Now they'll get a coach, they'll be happy. They'll say that that this is the guy that they always wanted. Like, give the whole song and dance, right? Blah blah blah, right? But we'll know, and everybody will know it wasn't their first choice. By the way, don't worry about me on these things. Sometimes y'all say stuff. This is first of all, it says that there's zero sugar, and I went in when I recently did my recent health screening. My sugar count was perfect, so I'm good, y'all. So don't it's all right. And I drink a ton of water. So I drink tons of water, one energy drink, and vodka. That's pretty much all I consume. That's it. That's pretty much it. And tequila whenever my girl's around. Which we probably need to slow down on that anyway. Okay, so that's that. So all right, anyway, I wanted to make sure you guys had the chance to have some glee within yourself, because I know that the petty side of y'all is extremely, extremely happy. All right, so the other thing that I want to talk about is probably several things. There might be multiple things. I don't know where my head's going to go today. But there's another thing that I found pretty interesting, not only last week, but it came up again this week. And one of the things that kind of came up again was the subject of, okay, well, who's standing out in the practices, right? That's obviously the question that you want to know. And this name popped up again yesterday when I was talking to someone behind the scenes. Yes, do I talk to someone all the time? Yeah, I'm always doing that, man. My life is pretty damn simplistic. It's a lot of work, talking to people, and then taking my kids to a practice at some point. And so that's literally my life. Like if somebody wanted to off me, it's real easy to find me. I'm out at a soccer field, a flag football field. Like, yeah, I'm easy to find. Like I'm real easy to find. So the name that keeps kind of coming up to me has been the name of Christian Clark. And by the way, yes, y'all talking about pollen and all that kind of stuff. My stuff is killing me right now. I don't know if you guys got the allergies, but that's when you see this. No, okay, I don't have it ain't powder. It's literally my allergies are killing me. I would actually love to actually just blow my nose for a second. And maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll play a specs thing real quick. And maybe that'll buy me some time so I can actually go and run and blow my nose. Yeah, I'm actually going to do that because I'm literally dying. So hold on.
As a Texas family-owned business, we know you don't mess with Texas. And you won't find more ways to raise a glass of Texas-made cheer than right here. So whatever you're planning, we're ready to get you ready. Because at Specs, the fun starts here.
Well, that should have been longer. Come on, Lisa. Where was it? I played the wrong one. I should have played like the the whatchamacallit, like it's probably one that's longer than that, but that was all I need. No, 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 Benji. Don't put that out there. No, 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 no. I never my mom cured me of stuff like that when I was a kid, man. She said, she's not talking about don't get it, don't get ever get on that stuff, man. And I never, 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 ever. I don't trust that stuff, man. I grew up in the era of Dwight Gooden and I just never in Dwight Gooden and Darryl Strawberry just never have ever seen somebody. We'll get back to this. I've never seen somebody that was like, my life was going bad. My wife left me. The kids stopped talking to me. I lost my job, right? Everything was bad until I started doing heroin. And then everything just got better, right? No, those things don't happen in life, right? So no one's like, my life was going horrible, but I started using cocaine and now everything's great. Like, no one said that, right? So nah, you'll catch me sipping on a little something, but all that other stuff, nah, I'm good on that. So the name that keeps coming up to me has been Christian Clark. And I found it to be really interesting because I was like, okay, well, he came back from obviously he tore his Achilles last season. And as y'all know, Christian Clark coming out of high school, we started talking about him and Jarrett Gibson. It was really kind of, okay, which one is going to really emerge as that dude? And Christian Clark, if y'all go back and look at his film from high school, I mean, he's dynamic. He's a dynamic running back, fantastic running back, just great in everything that he does. But then the injury kind of occurred, and that really left, obviously, as you guys know, Texas kind of in a huge bind as relates to, the running back room last year. And because, of course, C.J. Baxter goes down, Christian Clark goes down, and Trey Wisner ends up being the guy, and Quintravion. He ends up being kind of like that lead dude. And so as we're kind of getting into the off season and to really kind of get in spring ball, the thing is, to try this for allergies. Thank me. Yeah. What are you guys saying? What for allergy? I actually like to go to People's Pharmacy, which is what I need to do. People's Pharmacy has actually the best allergy medicine, quite honest with you. Because they have more of the allergies for Texas. And so People's Pharmacy is literally the best. Like, it's better than any of the over-counter stuff, to just be quite honest with you. I need to just go back down to People's and get some of my stuff. So I get some of my drops, whatever, and it's the best place ever. I'm just letting y'all know. That's they don't pay me for that. They could if y'all want to, but they don't pay me for that. So yeah, so the Christian Clark, I'm hearing all these things about him. And so someone told me about him last week, and I was like, what, is he back to 100%? Like, well, no, of course he's not back to 100%. He's had an Achilles, but they were like, he's further ahead of C.J. Baxter. I was like, okay, all right. If it's and of course there's different injuries for both of those guys, but he's still further ahead as far as that goes. I'm like, all right. And then again, I heard about Christian Clark. And yeah, man, Barb says that's where you go. Yeah, I go to the one off of 183 and 620, I think is the one I go to. So that's my spot. That's my spot. Really good people, very helpful over there. And I will be going there today after the show. So more about Christian Clark. And the thing that someone told me this week, they told me that he's looking phenomenal. That he looks like a guy that when he's going to be 100% healthy is going to have a chance to compete for the starting job. And he would be kind of on that long line of Texas running backs that Sark has had that's been successful. Now, I asked my guy Tyler to put together this graphic for me, and I love this graphic, and I'm going to put this graphic up on the screen because the one thing that Sark has kind of prided himself in is that he's really prided himself in being able to say he has 1,000-yard backs. Like, that's his thing. Like, he loves to hang his hat on, I got 1,000-yard backs, and that's just what I do, and that's what I produce, right? And so I've been keeping this running tabulation of Sark's backs throughout the last few years. And he's very consistent. And so when we start thinking about, and I'm going to show you in a second, but when you start thinking about who's going to be the next person up this upcoming season, with Christian Clark potentially being in the mix of that, one of the things you got to know is that there's going to be a workload that's associated with that, and that person has to be able to carry that workload. I'm going to show you a couple of things, and then I'm going to say some things that are not going to be on the screen, but I think this is going to be really helpful for you. Damn it, if you're watching this on TV, this is like a badass graphic, right? So I have looked up his Sark's running backs, obviously, since 2009. Yes, go back to that, right? And so in that, hold on a second, because I think I got to sneeze now. Damn you, allergies. Sorry. I apologize. I didn't have a chance to hit the mute button, y'all. So you go back to 2009 with Sark. And we're going to go down, history a little bit. So Chris Polk was Sark's guy for 3 seasons at Washington. Now you see in 2009, start kind of bottom up, right? And start from the bottom. I'm going to work my way up, right? Chris Polk, obviously, 2009, 226 carries, 113 yards, 5 touchdowns. In the second season, though, you see Chris Polk get up to 1,400 yards and 9 TDs. What you don't see in there is that his backup, a guy by the name of Jesse Collier, had 77 carries for 433 yards. No touchdowns, ironically. That's kind of a weird stat. So I don't know what the hell Jesse was doing. Maybe they didn't score a lot that year. I don't know. But you have that. And then of course, in 2011, Chris Polk finishes it off with damn near 1,500 yards, 12 TDs. Jesse had 260 yards and 1 touchdown at that point, right? So you start seeing the trend where, Sark gets a lot of talk and credit, and we talk about him as from the passing game perspective, and we think about the quarterbacks that he's worked with. But what we don't really do a lot of, and kind of don't really do a lot of talking about, is the running backs that he works with and how he prides himself on that. And that's why when you start thinking about this upcoming season, and I know we're in the spring as of this moment, but you got to know that Sark is looking for a person that's a workhorse. Like, go back to, this is his resume of running backs, and you got to think to yourself, this is the kind of running back that he wants. Okay, you go to 2012, and I mean, we're really going back in a time machine. If any of y'all can remember Bishop Sankey, 2012, he gets 1,400 yards, 1,439, 16 TDs, and then in 2013, Bishop Sankey just goes off. 1,870 yards and 20 touchdowns. And by the way, Jesse Collier there again, you don't see him, and it's Callier. So hopefully I'm pronouncing his last name correctly. He has 213 yards, 3 TDs. So he had between two guys, that was 2,000 yards. Now, clearly Bishop Sankey did all the heavy lifting, but nonetheless, you can see. All right, this is Sark. Like, I like to have those guys, and look at the number of carries for those guys as well. I mean, Sark was a guy. He's like, you gonna carry this ball. Like, what? I don't know what you think you're gonna do, but what you are gonna do is you're gonna carry this ball. Now he gets this USC, and he has the 2014 season. And he has Javoris, hopefully I'm saying his name right, Mr. Allen, at 1,489. Okay, so I'm just y'all getting the view of Sark wants a guy that can get you 1,400 yards on the ground. Like, that's his stilo. That's what he likes. 11 TDs with him. 2015 it's an interesting year, and obviously for a lot of reasons, right? So we won't rehash what happened in 2015. No one gets to 1,000 yards. But the interesting thing, though, is that he had two running backs that damn near got 1,000 yards, which is amazing. Justin Davis and Ronald Jones. Ronald Jones obviously goes to the NFL. Not quite sure whatever happened to Justin Davis, but you can able to see what he does in there. So he almost has 2,000 yard backs, kind of a prelude of the kind of the Bichon Roshan kind of thing. And so you're able to see USC what he's able to do there. Like so from 2017 to 2018, like what the hell onward? Where's those stats? He's at the Atlanta Falcons. He's an OC there. So I kind of took that one out, and getting 1,000 yards in the NFL is not the easiest thing to do. There's a lot of factors. So I just kind of negated that as well. We get to 2019, he's at Alabama. And then you get Najee Harris, who everyone is obviously familiar with. And you look at Najee over 2 seasons, Najee gets, 1,200 yards, and I'm rounding a little bit here. So the 1,244, 13 TDs. And then a look at Najee in 2020. I mean, that's just sick. That's sick. Hold on, 26 TDs. That's a hellified stat. Let me look that up. Let me make sure that's right. Is it 26 or is it 16? Because something that would be. Let me just look up. Let me look up these stats. Let me look up a Najee stat real quick. 26 is a lot. I need it. Let me just verify that number. And rushing, 26 rushing touchdowns. That is correct. Damn. My man, 26 rushing touchdowns. Woo. But clearly, you say less, right? Say less, say less. Again, now you think about these running backs in the room. You know what Sark is looking for. You know exactly what he's looking for. Okay, so Najee balls out. Then he gets Bijan, and you're able to see what Bijan does with that 1,127 yards, and then of course the 11 TDs. Roshan, though, that season in 2021, while it's not on the screen, Roshan on 96 carries gets 569 yards and 5 TDs. So you're talking somewhere around 1,600, 1,700 yards between two running backs, give or take. We're not doing the full math here, but somewhere in that area. Then you look at 2022, Bijan goes off. So, I mean, you see, like, I need a guy who can get me this. Like that's his sweet spot. It's getting me the Bijans. I want the Najees of the world, right? I want the Bishop Sankey's of the world. I want Chris Polk. Like, I need a guy that I can count on, rely on, and just to be that guy. And you look at the last 2 seasons, it doesn't. Jonathan Brooks comes in, and of course, Jonathan Brooks gets hurt, so those numbers don't become what you would have hoped they could have been. And CJ Baxter in that 2023 season, he ends up with 659 yards and 5 TDs. And then Quintravion fills in last season. He gets to 1,000 yards. It takes a lot of games to get there, obviously, for that to occur. And then. Because I think if I look at Quintravion's number from last season, and this is where we kind of, and again, I like, so we're clear, like I like him. I've actually have run across his family at some point. They saw me. They were real good people. Like seemed like real nice folk. But yeah, it took him 15 games to get to 1,000 yards. That was an average of about 70 yards a game, 4.7 yards per carry. Good numbers. you see what we're working with, right? You want something that's a little bit higher than that. And then there's, Jaden Blue was right behind him at 730 yards and 8 touchdowns. And Jaden Blue was more of a kind of a home run hitter. This is Sark's history as relates to the running back room. I think this is really what Sark is looking for as relates to the running backs. I know there was some math there. I know there was some math there. Hold on, I want to make sure I didn't miss a super chat by anybody. I did not. All right, I did want to make sure I didn't miss a super chat while you guys had you guys off the screen because I could not actually see anything. So that when you start thinking about the running backs in the upcoming season, right? You start thinking about what Sark may or may not be looking for. You look at his history, and so now you got to ask yourself, okay, is Quatravion Wisener the guy that could be that person that gets him that 1,400 yards kind of thing that he would love to have, that 12 to 1,400? Is he that dude? Is CJ Baxter really going to be that dude? And I don't know if we know enough about CJ to know what he is or will not be. I think the injuries add more of a mystique here. Hold on one second. Hey, hold on one second. Okay, give me. Hold on one second. But anyway, sorry guys, I got someone that's outside my door, which I'm gonna have to take care of this real quick. Nothing crazy though, nothing crazy, just some first world problems. There's nothing exciting. So you got to think to yourself, all right, at the end of the day, what does he have a running back on the roster? And I think what Christian Clark kind of falls into that thing is, I think Christian Clark kind of falls in line with the guy that could be that workhorse. Like I was saying, CJ Baxter, I don't know what we have with CJ Baxter. I don't know. I know what we think. I know what the myth may be. But when healthy that season, Jonathan Brooks ended up being a more productive running back, right? And he's also had 2 major injuries. Is he a person that can stay healthy? We don't know that, right? With Quatravion Wisener, is he a guy that can take that next step and go up to the next level? We're not sure. Jarrett Gibson was young. He had the natural fumble problems that he dealt with last season. That usually happens with young running backs. So there's room for growth there. Realistically, there's not a single running back that can plant a flag and say to themselves, I for sure am going to be that number one dude. But Christian Clark, just be encouraged and know that as relates to Christian Clark, he's a guy that can potentially go in here, be in the mix to start, be in the mix to play once he gets 100% healthy. So keep an eye out on him. And then so you know about that going forward. All right, I got to run. There's too much things going on. I love y'all. Take care.